Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. And back here in my craft room, we're going to do this really pretty tone-on-tone card. And if you notice, I only used silver and white. And I think this is absolutely a stunning and very elegant tone-on-tone card. I love white on white. There's something very, very special about it, and I'm going to show you how to make it because it was really easy. With just a very few supplies, we have a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score that in the middle. I cut out my words in silver, which is Merry Christmas, and I used a Echo Park die for that. And I cut out a few of from my poinsettia dies. You'll see me use many times. I cut out these little branches, and I'm not sure if we're going to use those or not, but I cut them anyway. I've got 4 of the small tiny poinsettia leaves, and I've got the smaller stackable ones because we want to stack those to give them that beautiful dimension. And then I got 2 of the leaves. So I also have a piece of silver that we're going to use for the background piece, and a piece that I embossed with beautiful snowflakes. Let's see if that will, there we go. I think it focused in pretty well. And that was from Winter Snow. It's a retired Stampin' Up folder, but any snowflake folder that you have will work. So let's start assembling. So the first thing I want to do is work on my poinsettias. And to do those, I'm going to curl the leaves down. Just very gently. You don't want to tear your leaves. You just want them to have a downward bend, so when you put them together, they will kind of pop up like that. Continue to work your leaves, and I'm even going to do it on these little ones just a tiny bit. I think I'll just do the ones for the top on this particular one. And then for the tips of our leaves, let's see, I always have to look at the leaves to decide which way they're going. And I think they're going this direction. So I'm just going to do a little bit on those. And now we are ready to start putting our pieces together. Now I am going to use some dimensionals to put my poinsettia petals together. I like that dimension that it gives them. So I'm putting one right in the center, and then I'm going to take this one and offset it and stick it right on top, just like that. And I have some old centers for this, and I still have a good many. So I'm going to use one of those for the center of this poinsettia. Now you can use a glue dot, you can use two-sided tape, you can use glue, but remember, if you're using glue, it's going to take a while for that to stick. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down with the glue because I'm going to have time to set this over and let it adhere. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put these together. Remember, I've got 4 of them, so I'm using a flat one to a one that I curled. And you want to do the same thing with these. I'm going to use the mini dots for these because you just need a small one. And then we're just going to take one of the ones that we curled and sit it right down in the middle, but offsetting the petals. See how I offset the petals? So pretty. And you have a couple of options. On this card, I use stickles for the center of these. Let's see. There it goes. I use stickles, but if you don't want to wait for stickles to dry, and I use the silver stickles like this, you could use a hole punch. You could use a hole punch like this and punch out a center. And that would also be beautiful on the center of it. I think I'm going to do this one since I don't have time to let the stickles dry. And the good thing about that, I can always come back and put stickles on top of this if I decide to do that. Just another little option that you have. But let's go ahead and get the poinsettias together. And then I'm going to turn these over, and I'm going to press them down, make sure they're good and flat. And then I'm just going to put a dot of glue right in the middle. And I'm just going to pick one of these up, set it right down in the middle. And you can see that makes a lovely little center for that. Let's bring this one over. We're going to do the same thing. Just a little dot of glue. And I get a lot of questions about my glue press. That is the glue press by my Sweet Petunia, who is also the maker of the Misty. And if you hadn't seen these or heard of them, you've probably been living under a rock. They've been out for some time, and they are absolutely a game changer with using your glue. And you can put any type of glue that you like in the bottles. And I have art glitter glue, because if anyone knows me, they know that the art glitter glue is my favorite. And I usually buy it in large quantities, but it has a freeze point, so it's hard to get it shipped this time of year. Now there's places like Amazon that will ship it, but you're taking a chance of it being frozen, and then it becomes very watery. So if you need glue this time of the year, I recommend the Barely Art glue. It's a wonderful glue, very similar to art glitter glue, but it doesn't have a freeze point. And this is a refill that I just recently bought, and it's Barely Art Precision Craft glue, and this is the refill bottle. I always buy refills because I fill up my other bottles with it. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my Merry and Christmas over here out of my way for a sec, and I want to decide how I'm going to put this on. I want to make sure that's adhered, and it is. I think I want it up to the top edge like that. So I'm going to put another glue dot right here on the bottom, and I'm going to stack two of them. These are very easy to stack. If you're not using dots, you're using two-sided tape, just cut two pieces that will fit and do it right from there. I'm giving that a press so it adheres. Then I can take my leaves and decide where I want them to be. I think I want the leaves like that. Before I put the leaves down, I want to adhere my little curlies. You saw the little curlies that were on here? I think they're so pretty. And I'm going to show you how I made those. It's so simple, so easy, but you do need the Bodabra wire. And what did I do with my silver? Here it is. I wrapped it around a piece of cardstock to make it a little easier to manage. So you're going to take a piece off, maybe about, I don't know, 14, 15 inches, and cut it. And then grab yourself a pencil. A pencil works better. And just start at one end and wrap it. And then just continue to wrap it. And you want it nice and tight. This has wire that takes to the shape of what you wrap it around very well. And then scrunch it together. Tighten it. And then slide it off. And you have this beautiful little piece that you can adhere to your card. Now there's a couple of ways to adhere it. I'm going to try to show you the easiest way. I think the easiest way is to take a glue dot. Let's see if I've got... Yeah, I have some larger glue dots. These larger ones are going to work much better. And what you want to do is just take a glue dot and pick it off. And you want to stick it under your poinsettia. Like that. Then you want to take the end of your little twirly piece, about like that, and I like to use my reverse tweezers because they give me a little more control, and I'm going to tuck that in into that glue dot, and then that will allow that to hang off like that. So cute. And if you want to bring this up a little more, you can. Something like that. So now we need to put these two down. And you can put these anywhere you want to, but try to remember you need to leave room at the bottom or somewhere on the card for your Merry Christmas. We need to put our leaves down, so our leaves are going to go here and here. And to put those on, I'm just going to use a little glue, and I'm actually going to do it front and back, just a tiny bit on the corner. That. Same with this one. Like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with these. We're going to put glue on the back. And then decide where you want to set them. I think I'll put one right there. And maybe one right here. Very easy to adhere down. Like that. And we need to do one more of our little twisties. This time I'm going to do it a little shorter. And grab your pencil again and just hold it and twist it around and around. You can bring it up with your thumb and hold it As you're wrapping it, just push it up under your thumb. A lot of times with your thumb you get a much better grip on something. And now let's see if we can grab another glue dot. You could use two-sided tape on this, but I think the glue dots, especially these big ones, these are the much larger glue dots, and I think they work really well. And you can always roll this if you don't want it to be that big. You can roll it into something more manageable. And let's stick that right under here. And that stuck down under there really well. So now all we have to do is take the end of our little springy I like to try to grab at least 2 loops of it, like that, and lift that up, find that glue dot, and just press it down. Then you got your 2 little twirlies, and they look so cute like that. Now, I did cut these because I thought they would be really cute on here as well. So I am going to go ahead and put these down on this card. I didn't put these on the other card, but I think they're pretty and I do want them on here. So we're just going to take a little bit of glue. I cut them for the other card, but I'll tell you what happened. I decided to put dots of silver metallic on these, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up throwing them away. So I'm sure that has happened to you in your crafting. You thought something was a good idea until you saw it, and you thought, nope, I don't think so. But I think leaving them white is going to be beautiful. Just like that. Now we need our Merry Christmas. And I have the dot right here that goes over the eye. So I'm going to pop that out and see if I can hang on to it. There it is right there. And let's look at Mary, because Mary is kind of broken up a little bit. You got your M and then your E-R-R-Y. So I'm going to put this right about there. I love using my reverse tweezers for things like this. Just makes it easy to place it. And then we'll get the rest of the wording out. And we're going to go ahead and pop out the pieces that need to come out. And then we're going to put Mary right here. I want it to go up high because I want to keep room for Christmas. And I have a pet peeve about people saying season's greetings. I know that it's politically correct, but for me, Christmas is about Christ, not the holiday, not anything except the beautiful birth of Jesus. I'm going to change this one up a little bit and put it like that to make it look like the words are connected. And then we are going to set this down. Like so. Give it a press. And now we are ready to assemble our card. So easy, so simple, and oh, we need to put the dot over the eye. Let's put a little dot of glue right there. Use our little pickup. And there we go. All right, now we can add some glue to the back of this and adhere it to our piece of silver. Isn't that a beautiful card? Love it. So let's make sure we lay down some glue back here. I go a little heavier on the back of a piece that has embossing, because you need to get it in all of those little crevices, and especially around the edges. And then I like to lay it. Make sure I press it so that it adheres. And now we're ready to put it on our card base. So I am going to grab I'm just going to grab the small school board, and we're going to put it in, and at 4 1/4 we're going to score. And then fold it over, and take our bone folder and go ahead and burnish that down. And now we're ready to lay this. Oh, this did not glue good, did it? Let's get a little bit more glue under here. All right, so now we're going to put glue on the back of this. And then adhere this to your card front. And if you need to, you can come back and redo your wire. That seems like it did not catch, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take another glue dot and go up in here and make sure it's adhered. We are definitely adhered now. And there is our beautiful card. Now here are two separate ones. I think I do like it better with the stickles. And if you do, all we got to do is go back and put stickles on our piece that we punched out, and there we have our, and we just need to make sure you leave that sit somewhere where it will not be bumped or touched or anything laid on top of it, and when they dry, they will dry that pretty silver. So that is our little tutorial for this tone on tone card. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that it has inspired you maybe to make a tone on tone. And remember, it doesn't have to be white. You can use reds and greens and blues and whatever color you like, but it's a beautiful way to create a very elegant looking card. So thank you so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. So I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. So until next time, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.